I just got back from Santa Monica. We had a good food. Just wanted to share the story of my driving in LA because I just started to drive to work first time in 10 years. I come to LA 2013, I guess. So I've been living for 9 years without car. And the reason why is because my job is in Hollywood and the parking is super expensive, and back then taking Uber to go to school is much cheaper than having a car. Those days if I share the ride, it was less than $5. Sometimes I can take Uber in $2 and the parking is $20 a day, so of course it's much cheaper. And I wasn't ready for driving. I actually love taking Uber. Also, I usually stay home, and if I have to go out, and I usually go with my husband and he was driving. And another reason was I didn't have money to buy my own car. That's simple reason. Also, I had a fear to have car accident. I actually used to drive in Korea when I was in 20s, and I had like 2 car accident. Even back then in Korea, I didn't know what to do, so I had to call my dad, and he always come and take care of everything, and until I get independent. Let's wait. That was the reason why I didn't drive. I got so used to taking Uber. Every time I call it, they're always there in 5 to 10 minutes. They're in front of me, and I didn't have any problem with taking Uber. Sometimes also I wanted to save the money, so I took a metro and bus. And that was not bad. People were nice and it was actually fun. Another one big reason was when I go someplace and hang out, usually it was Hollywood and Koreatown. So those 2 places were for me the most comfortable place. And Koreatown is really hard to get a parking lot. So normally taking Uber and just go to whatever restaurant and then come back is much easier than driving there and finding a parking and paying lots of money and waiting, and yeah. And also Hollywood as well. And also my friends, they had cars. Sometimes they give me a ride. I didn't really feel that I need a car. There are 2 guys that I still remember. One of them, I even know his name. What happened to me was when you are waiting for the bus or metro, there's this guy always approach, especially to the Asian women, because they know that Asian women are nicer, and so they always talk to me and ask my number or something like that. What I found out was that guy who asked my number and who talked to me, it's the same guy. Like years later I met the same guy. Of course he doesn't remember me, but I remember his face. So he asked my number too, and that was exactly same way that he approached to women. So be alert. And there's also another guy. I think this guy is little retarded, looks like completely normal. I think he used to be in Korean army, and maybe something happened to his brain. I don't know. So he's a little weird because I met that guy 3 times. 2 times in Hollywood bus station, 212. And one was in Adams and La Brea. I don't know why I was there. So anyways, that was same guy talked to me 3 times. So be alert. Those guys are just there all the time, and whenever they see Asian women especially, they talk to you. Good person, normal, regular person, they don't talk to people in the public transportation. I don't think. Especially in here in America. Those 2 guys I actually met when I was a student, which is 15 years ago. And still 15 years later, I still see them on the Hollywood Boulevard talking to the women. Isn't it amazing? This happened 2013 or 14. Which is a long time ago. I was in Venice Boulevard waiting for the bus, and there was this guy with a wheelchair. He told me that the blanket got into his wheel, one of the wheel. So he asked me to take it off because the wheelchair wouldn't go. So I grabbed that blanket and then tried to take it out. I realized that blanket, the whole thing, got soaked by his pee. I didn't know, but now I'm thinking he was a homeless guy. He peed on his own pants and blanket. So my hands got wet by his pee, and my bus was coming, and I asked him, hey, I'm so sorry, I cannot do that, I have to take this bus. And then he stopped me to put his blanket back. So I still remember that feeling, like my hands got so wet. That was disgusting. This one, it happened in the Fox Hills Mall. After I went to the shopping mall, I was in the bus station. I saw someone was talking to the bus driver like really loudly, and then she took a bus. I had a seat first, and then she sat in front of me, and I realized that wow, this woman smells like it was horrible. Like it was really, really bad smell. I couldn't breathe. All those smells from her back of her head coming through my nose. So I immediately stood up and then went backside over the seat. Before I get out of the bus, she told me, I don't remember what she said, but those days I didn't understand her English, so I was just smiling. And then she was so mad, that's not funny. And I got scared, and the bus driver, he asked me to get out in the front door so that I can be safe. Also, one day I took bus from Hollywood going back to my way. Someone pooped in the bus. He was in wheelchair, so the wheel got stepped on top of the poop, and then he get out. So the bus had this stain with poop, with this wheel stain, and it smelled so bad. The driver, she had to stop it, and she had to spray all over the place. It was really bad. Okay, moving on. I'd like to show you why I started to actually driving. Uber is becoming more and more expensive, and it's really hard to get it now after COVID. Before it was, the most was $15 to go to Hollywood, and now $25, sometimes even $40. Also, sometimes I have to wait 1 hour to come, and sometimes I'm in a hurry, but they never come. It's kind of hard to predict the time when they're coming. Now I'm working more from home, and I go to school once a week. So actually I can afford a parking fee, and I don't take bus in metro anymore because of hate crime. I watch tons of news. Those people who got attacked with no reason just because they are Asian. And if someone slap me in my face, like whatever they attack me, I'll die. I'm scared. I don't want to die in the bus by those weird people. So I stopped taking bus and metro. So that actually accelerated me to learn driving. Also, I think, I don't know, like it's not direct reason, but pandemic affected me emotionally. Sometimes I get depressed, and I realize that I don't go anywhere. Like literally, I had been staying home more than a year, never went out. That made me feel like, oh, I should drive, I should explore more so that I don't get depressed. That's one day my husband was really, really sick. He couldn't drive me to church. So that day I decided to go by myself. That was first day that I drove to Koreatown. Somehow the drivers, Uber drivers, I don't know, maybe it's me, I got more sensitive, or I started to have more desire to be in quiet environment when I take Uber. Just only a couple of drivers, they are kind of, pushing me to say something, and they ask me some rude questions. Where are you from? What is your job? And all those unnecessary questions. Like I feel like I'm in a blind date. Like why should I tell this man about myself? Like I don't know, am I too much? Is it too much? But most of the drivers are really respectful, and if they feel like you don't want to talk, you just want to be quiet, and they get it. Yeah, so I started to have that desire to be alone. You know, like for the whole day, you work so hard and you socialize with lots of people. You meet tons of people in your work area, and after done, you just like, okay, now I'm gonna go home. But that's also another beginning of your socializing. You meet the driver and you're like, hi, I'm from Korea. And in the morning, they ask me. At night, another driver, they meet me and they immediately ask me the same question. Also, because of pandemic, like I so scared of touching some public stuff. I had an experience. One day I took a bus and then I come home. Somehow my butt was so itchy. I don't know if it's from the bus, but just I felt just weird. My body was itchy, especially my butt part. So I cleaned like right away. Of course, sometimes I go to Koreatown, and if you have to just move here to there, you know, if it's just one station, I take it. First of all, I don't know why somehow I started to listen a lot of opera, because the opera singers, their organic energy, like super epic, that's no comparison with listening to a pop or rock or jazz. When you are walking, you kind of want to listen to the music has a beat, right? So it fits with your steps while you're walking. But driving is not like that. You are driving, like you are moving your wheels. Because I drive like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, like I blast the music so loudly, and then I listen to that soprano, and that makes me feel so high. Second one, my self-esteem went up. Before, I felt like I'm a helpless little kid who cannot do anything by myself without Uber. But now I can drive. I have more power. Like if I want to buy something, now I can drive and I can go. So I feel more independent. That's a good thing. Another one is before I was always with my husband like 24/7, especially since he started to work from home. But now I can be by myself. So that gives me some sort of power. Also, it changed my friendship. In order to hang out, I have to ask them a favor to give me a ride. It was kind of bothering me, and I knew that it's not a real friendship because I wasn't feeling super comfortable in that unbalanced friendship. But now I'm driving myself. I don't need a friend when I want to see them. Not because I feel insecure, not because, you know, I want to go out. Now I can do everything by myself. So if I want to see them, it's like more balanced friendship. So I like it in that way. I can calculate time more efficiently because I never be late. I don't like to be late. I'm always the person who is there like 10 minutes, 20 minutes earlier, even 30 minutes. When I take Uber, it was kind of bothering me because I want to be at school 10 minutes earlier, but I ended up be there like an hour earlier. So that was my little thought how driving changed my life in LA. So I'm having more and more fun driving by myself. Of course, I have to learn how to drive in highways, but yeah, I'll try little by little.